Hi, my name is Davide Alidosi, and in this video I want to show how it's possible um, customize May9 and so of course customize Maya in general. As you know, May9 is a set of script, plugin and preferences for Maya 2016, and when you download you have a zip file. In this case I have 135 version, and I entering in the Windows version, and I need to copy this directory for install the May9. So I can go in my folder, my document folder inside of my Windows, and here there is a folder called Maya. Inside of the Maya folder I have my old configuration. I make a backup of this one before updating and using the last version of my Maya. Of course you cannot backup it, but it's really of course it's I recommended starting by a cleanup folder. I entering, and first of all I want to show you what is what file inside of 2016 folder of May9 configuration you have. First of all, maya.env. This let you set up for any operative system the environment variable. This is very handy because you don't deal with the operating system to show how change the global environment for operating system. Write the variable directly in this file. For example, I want to enable the viewport in modalità OpenGL, so I can delete this slash that comment the code and do not enable the code. Another variable I have included is no console window. This lets you deactivate the console window in opening of Maya, and I have enabled by default the hardware selection. Hardware selection is a new way to select the components inside of Maya 2016 from SP1 to IGEST, of course. Now I can close this. Here you can write your environment variable too. You can find the variable directly from Maya guide. We can start from the first one, plugins. Plugins contain the plugins. As you can see, I have 5 Python plugins and 2 C++ plugin directly inside of this folder. Here you can put your plugins. Prefs. Under the prefs you have the main preferences. I want to show you the main one. Hotkeys is of course my customized hotkey. Icons, the icons I have had or the contributors have created for their work. Main window states. This one contains the distribution of the panels inside of the Maya. This is a compiled file. You can't editing by using the standard standard text edit, as you can see here. All right. Come back. Marking menus. Here we have the marking menu. All the marking menu I create for this configuration. Every this menu is loaded up by mmtkey. I show you how configure it and use mmtkey in later on. Scripts. Of course, the script. In this folder I have some script that let me change the main menu in Maya, but these are not all the script for May9. Shelves, of course, the shelves already be installed inside of Maya, and user folder, user shelf, for example, or of third-party shelf. MTK shelf. This is a little shelf load up by the modeling toolkit inside of Maya, and as you can see here, is a mail script, so you can directly by text edit change parameters directly. And the M isn't not so famous is inside is this little shelf here. As you can see, this is the MTK shelf. Plugin prefs, when you have the preferences for your plugin, what's already what is in autoload. These are the plugin I have enabled and autoload. Of course, you can see the plugin directly here. Windows, preferences, plugin manager. You can enable and disable it by this checkbox, and or using, of course, the main file, the main file for your preferences and plugins. As you can see, some plugins are autoloaded. Despite that, as you can see, there is no autoload check, but it is loaded anyway. It is happening because probably another plugin let use this one as dependency. So when you open up a plugin, you probably that plugin can be open and load up other plugins inside of Maya. Alright, great. We can come back to this folder, I think so. Render node types family. Render node type favorites. This is the preferred shader inside of a hypershade in the favorite area. I open up it and go under create, and here you can see. You can view the favorites, the favorites shader, the favorite surface in this case is loaded up by this file. So you can customize it too from here by adding as add to favorites, or of course you can, as you can see, when I switch back to the text edit, it won't reload the file because I've changed. So really interesting. This has changed the layout too. I don't know. I don't know that before. Very interesting. Good. Very good. Come back to the main folder. Sys color. This is for the color of the UI. Simply about that. Username commands. That's username command are the command I call from the hotkey. Username command is mail script that contain the configuration and for the hotkey. Is a bridge from user runtime command. So new scripts, new runtime command. A runtime command is a command that can be launched, can be run, and so the runtime is command is the name of the that you can use for execute a script or a procedure inside of Maya, and because some of these commands are inside of the hotkey, are called by hotkey. This file contains the relationship from the hotkey and the runtime command itself. For example, as you can see, I have reload name command here that run up the key reloaded command, runtime command, and this reload key is inside of the. Of course, the hotkey file. I have here my hotkey file, and here I can find it by searching it pretty fast. As you can see, this command is related to the letter Q, the button Q, Control Alt Shift, and name. Name because it's a press command. If you have a release name, as you can find here, for example, this lets you disable a command by releasing the key. This is happening in the key when I run up the key for use it, and when I remove it, I use the release name for that command. All right. We have two user preferences. This is the main preferences. Here you can have a lot of code about the tools, the preferences generally in Maya, how many do you use, and the layout is saved here, and so on and so forth. user RGB colors. This let me customize the RGB color for the viewport. As you can see now, I have changed the background of the viewport to have a little bit bluish. As you can see, this is RGB, so red, green, and blue, and the value for the blue is higher than the green and the red one, so it's not perfect monochromatic, but it's a little bit more bluish. I define this color to do not lose the visibility of the initial shading group. And for example, I use the plane and seed it in some angulation. You can lose the visibility of this object because the background is the same color of the standard material in Maya. Of course, runtime commands. Here we have the runtime command, the script I have created or I have added to my configuration. As you can see, sometimes there is a particular code, the slash and the hen. This lets you go. This represent an end line and entering in the text. Of course, for every of these runtime command, I adding an annotation that this is used for read what the script do, and the runtime command, the name of the command you need to runtime is this one. Toggle UI, for example, if I copy that and using the side of mail, as you can see, I can toggle into the full screen mode. So very useful, I think so. Window prefs. In this case, we have the preferences for the window. Now I have the main window, I think. So window pref, left corner, parent, the main, Maya window. Yes, this is the main windows. This is the setup for main windows. You have the position to the left corner, the dimension of the weight and the height and width of the window, and if it is maximized. In this case, I decided to open the menu of my Windows in maximize mode to have it as full screen when you opening one, and this is all for that. We can jump back to one directory, presets. Presets contain the preset for the node. A node in Maya is a particular code that lets you do something inside of the application. The most simple example is probably the light or the shader that in this case I have Mia Material X, for example. Crystal physical, a simple way to simulate the crystal in physical way, or for example for the light I have some optimization, spotlight, for example. As you can see, I can use a physical based inside of Monterey and so on and so forth. So, or for example, for the air system, I have the ability to select a real scale or real scale dynamics based on the fact of any of this one or any of these square is a margin of edge of 1 centimeter. So that's it. You can load up the presetting, and of course you can change by programming it to everything you need. For example, I want to show you this little example and nucleus, because this is a nucleus solver. I set and I have added this to make the nucleus solver more physically based. So I use one square as 1 centimeter, and I can show you very fast if I create a plane, for example, and make this dynamics enclosed. I can select my nucleus solver, Control A for attribute editor, and from presetting, as you see, I have this physical base I can replace, or I can create a new one. For example, I want to change the density of the hair to simulate a more dense volume. 10, and let's save this one. Save nucleus preset for presetting test. Save attribute presetting, and as you can see now, I already have the mel file configured inside of nucleus at presets. So you can increase your productivity, of course. Scripts. The scripts folder inside of 2016 folder is the main script. This is a third-party script, and everything you see here is made by contributors. I don't have make more job. I don't have make a lot of job here. The only thing I do is customize this the two the two user setup mel and PI. User setup mel is used for define how, when opening Maya, the mel scripts work, and if during the startup of Maya, if you want to run up some mel script, and user.pi is if you want a Python script at the opening of Maya. This is very useful because it lets you set up the initial state of the script, or if you want to load up, for example, in this case I have loaded up the interactive playback as standard at a runtime, sorry, an auto-run script to have every time I want in my Maya. And this file is very important. As you can see, it's a mel script. I comment every line to let you easily understand how every area of this mel file do. In this case, the source int play is the interactive playback, as you see before. This is a load up, run up this file I have made by myself, this script, and after load up the mel, it executed directly, so you can have it in the opening of the Maya. For example, here I have enabled the anti-aliasing for viewport from this line, and string. This is create a variable hardware anti-aliasing set attribute. This is the attribute that the Maya run up for enable the anti-aliasing. As you can see, I have used script job. Script job is a rule that Maya use for define to define how we use this variable in this case. And in this case, when new scene is open and I need to run up this script, when you open Maya, automatically Maya generate new scene. So this is of course, I know every time you use a new scene in a when you run up Maya, or when you create by yourself the new scene, it's run up this script. The disable of, for example, of the color management startup, I realized by using the same trick. In this case, I define a variable that run up a runtime command inside of my runtime command file, and it is when you open new scene. It's the same thing for close the hypershade, for refresh the hypershade every time I use it. So when I open new scene, when I open a scene existed, or when I flashing a scene, every time is run up and clean up the hypershade. This is important because if you do not that when you have hypershading layout is not refreshing correctly, so it's important to clean up when you change scene on open scene. That's the other one is this one is interesting, that you disable the double lightning and so other things inside of this one. Very good, very simple. The other one is run up the scripts. This is the same for the Python 1. As you can see here, I run up keys of cluster, ZV dynamics, ZV parent master, and so on and so forth. So I do not have the need to run up manually when start, and automatically start every time I open Maya, to make your Maya really customized, and very powerful way to use it. Alright, great. Come back again. User tool clips. This is very simple area when you have, if you create some toolkit, is save here. View templates. View templates is a new feature from Maya 2015, I think so, and lets you, or sorry, I think so, Maya 2000, the extension release of Maya 2013, because this is related to the node editor. So this file lets you configure the node editor view of the node, how the node are viewing the node editor. All this stuff is made by, not by me, but all this stuff is made by Peter Sikov, that makes Soup plugin. Alright, great. The last thing I want to show you, and we can come back to the Maya, is under the script mm2key. The configuration for mm2key is stored here. We can come back in moments. But before I show you how mm2key works in details, I want to come back to my Maya here. Alright, great. From here now I need to show you some way to configure it and personalize Maya directly from user interfaces, of course. If you go under Windows, Setting Preferences, and undock this one, as you can see here, Autodesk add every menu need to add and define preferences for Maya. The first important thing is preferences area. This configure a part of user prefs inside of the preferences folder, this file, and lets you define how and what are the characteristics you have inside of Maya. Under the hotkey editor, we can set up the runtime command, this file, and the shortcut, the hotkey, defined by name command and hotkey 2. If I select custom script, as you can see, every this command contains a script from runtime command editor, and you can see here how I have made this one. I already show the main of this script in a previous video. But if you want to configure an hotkey, you can do from this menu. For example, one of the most important things that the hotkey can be called in press and in release. So when I press the button, I can execute a runtime command. When I release, I can execute another runtime command. In this case, the two Z, as you can see here, are one in press and one in release. Now, if I want to recreate this behavior, I can delete it from the X button and come back in the press mode for the 2 one. If you want to add an hotkey for application command, you need to simply use it on the keyboard. If you want using 2 or more button, you can you have the ability to do that by pressing the modify key in the keyboard, the shift or the Ctrl or the alt, and record it. In this case I want to use only the Z, as you see before, but when you need to use the release command, you need to open this and do before, because if you don't do that, the new one of course won't override the old one. So it's important presetting if it's a release or is a press. So as you can see here now, I have no more problem of this one, this overlapping hotkey. If you want to create a new runtime command, you need to use new, and if you wanted editing the one you have here, you show you show in this area, you need to edit one and save, of course, the modification. Now I want to create a new runtime command and test. This runtime command is a very simple mel command that lets you print test in this area, in the output area of node editor. So I won't call this test. You cannot use the same name for another script or a runtime command native in Maya. Test print test on output. Alright, great. Save this one. Now is already stored as a runtime command for Maya. Everything you have here is enabled as global variable, so is ready and stay to the configuration. Is not related to the file, is not related to the session, but stay inside of Maya. Now I can run up tests. As you can see, something don't work as I expected. What is the problem? I come back to my hotkey editor. I found it. Test. Yeah, I use Python, and I know that I don't have switch to the mail, so I can go to edit the mail, save runtime command. Oh, very good. Save and close, and now I can use my test. Oh wow, cannot find procedure test. Yeah, because I use a capital for the T. Oh, cannot find print because I can't. Sorry. Wow, this is great. I can't use print. Is runtime is a command. I can use the capital in print. So my is case sensitive, as you can see. All right, sorry for that. Very good. Wow, something don't work, but no problem. I think it's clear the concept. I can of course change my Merkin menu too. As you can see here, I have all the Merkin menu I have created for this configuration, and how I can modify a Merkin menu is very simple. I can go inside of it by pressing double click by edit Merkin menu, and when I have a clean area, this square representing an empty area, I can define the command I want to use here. Test run up test. As you can see, test give me an error, but no problem. I can use a file icon. The icon inside of the icon can be loaded up, or any icon of are standard in Maya. For example, in the case I want to use for the reg png. As you can see here now, it run up my icon directly here for this one. If you want to create this pop-up menu inside of sorry, don't pop up, but this group, this folder menu, you can do this by using the right mouse button, pop-up menu, and from here, as you can see, you have now a new menu. You can create a new pop-up menu, and so on and so forth. So I can now go inside of here. Okay, I can add or remove. I can delete, of course, a menu. If you create a pop-up menu in this area, it creates this menu. I think so. It's very easy. Pop-up menu. I can add a command. Save and close. Edit Merkin menu for if test. Of course, you can do you can create a separator. This lets you separate the area of the menu, and it's very simple. Of course, you can save, and after that I can use it. That's the basics way you can configure Maya. Of course, the most advanced way is start to learning the mail code for understand exactly what's happening in the file. But of course, this is a most advanced possibilities. I think so everything can be more usable because mail is very readable as as code. So I think so it's very simple. Change the structure for example in this case for the user hotkeys. And I think so it's very simple way to interact to Maya. Alright, good. The last thing I want to show you is how you can configure the MM2 key. MM2 key is a great way to use Maya and to, of course, fast interact with Maya. Actually, I have really defined a lot of combination of selection, and this configuration is really complete. So I decided to resetting it and restart. So I want to close my Maya, and you can find the configuration for MM2 key under the Maya 2016 scripts MM2 key user data. This file is the file is possible to use. Okay. Is the file is possible to use to configure it, but I want to show you in a most simple example. Here there is a lot of code and it's very difficult to read. I can back up it, and now I want to reactivate, rerun up my Maya. Now MM2 key, as you can probably see in other video or in the channel, in May9 channel, is the way I try to make Maya more simple and fast to use and understand, and I think so let you use a lot less memory, brain memory. I want to mean to remember where a command is. This because of course hotbox, when I press space to open up my hotbox, of course is clean up more in this version. Autodesk made a very great job to clean up the whole menu structure of Maya, but I think so it's remain a lot difficult. There is some other abilities. Of course, you can create polygons using sphere. Oops, what's happening here? Not responsive anymore. Wow, I cannot create my sphere. No, probably something will not work as expected. Sorry, there is something not work properly. Probably I think so. I understand the problem. I fix it in a minute. Probably there is a problem to the release key of MM2 key, so I think so. The problem is that, but I don't know. Sorry for this delay. You can go. All right. Some preferences of the key editor. I think the problem is here. Yes, I do not have set correctly the release of the MM2 key, so I remain stuck in and I cannot work. This is because MM2 key, when you press, create a layer to that do not let you interact anymore with the viewport. So I need to reset up on release. Yeah. Oh, sorry for that. So it is on press, it is on release, Z and Z, save. Okay, and now I think everything is fine. No, not enough. Sorry for the delay again. But in this way, you can see how many problem or how fix some kind of problem. This is very useful. This is another time. The problem is I need to set before probably the release of the command. Save and close. Now, alright, now everything work good. I want to create a sphere. What I want to mean is MM2 key is something I have added. Of course, there is a possibility to use the right mouse button and have the standard marking menu of Maya, or you can use a shift and right mouse button to have the modeling contextual menu, or you can use control right mouse button and so on and so forth. But I think so there is a strong limitation on this workflow. It's not possible to customize. These Meraki menu are really hard to customize. This is because the script that drive these Meraki menu are inside of the installation folder of Maya, and then not so easy to recognize it and change it. So I think so. MMK is a let you gap this bridge. Another things you cannot do in standard Maya is the ability to have a Meraki menu for a combination selection. In this case, the shift or right mouse button always give me the same menu of one object. But if I select two objects like so, I want to probably use a booleans. And where is the booleans? Is here or something here, but it's not so easy and direct. So another thing that I found very limitative on this workflow is if I want to make an enclosed, I have not even no option to use that. Probably there is a button when you can press it. So and then the right mouse button, there is a Meraki menu hide somewhere inside of Maya, but I can't remember any key in my keyboard. But if I can use only one keyboard and only one button in my keyboard and using a more complex way to recognize the object in the selection in the viewport or in a panel, of course this is a lot more efficiency. This one is the point. Another things I can do with MMTK is I can use a contextual hotkey, so I do not remember, for example, how to entering in the object in the component mode by F8, for example. But I can use only the Z button to understand. I select a poly, probably I want entering into component mode. I have selected a vertex, probably I want to come back to the object mode, and so on and so forth. But how it's possible to configure MMTK? First of all, you need to use Shift, Ctrl, Alt, and Z. This is opening up the MMTK manager. After that, you simply need to create a selection. For example, if I select one object and click on Head, as you can see I have poly. But if I select two objects and give Head, I have poly and poly. If I create, for example, a giant, skeleton, create giants, of course, and I select a giant and a sphere, and if I have a giant and polygon and so on and so forth. When I create the combination of the single selection, I can connect and make in relationship the object the selection to the Meraki menu. For example, if I select a single poly, I can line up my poly Meraki menu. If I using polygon and polygon, I can use my poly Meraki menu. If I use joint poly, in this case I want to run up probably the joint poly Meraki menu. Every TTS Meraki menu is already done, but you can create a new combination, a new Meraki menu for those one. Another thing I want to show you is how it's possible apply the hotkey related to the selection. For example, if I have this object, I want to go in the component mode, so I can open up my script editor, equal command, and press F8 to read what is the script. The runtime command is Maya for going in object mode, in some component mode. I can copy that and use it here. Now I can save the hotkey and save the configuration of connections, and now work. Sorry for that. As you can see, I have connected my Meraki menu and I have connected my switch for component mode to the object mode. I think this is very interesting way to work in this way. No? Of course, if I select the two objects, now I want my booleans. Very fast, very simple. Booleans differences. Work well, work fast, and so on and so forth. Poly, of course, I connect poly. I can create a hotkey button that needed. Join poly, and the same thing. I have had, for example, in my configuration, I have the bind skin when you select the two objects in the fast hotkey. Of course, you can work with selection, but you can work on panels too. This is another great feature, I think so. You can create an association. You can join, you can connect the panel with a marquee menu. In this case, I have my outliner here, and here I have the list of all the panels you have. In this case, I have outline panel. I have the ability to select, of course, my outliner marquee menu. So I found that. I can add a script for a panel too, so I can use my zip button, my quick button for using memtkey directory for execute a script on when I am on the outline panel, or when I am in the visor, or in the blend shape panel, or in the render view, and so on and so far. For example, in render view, I have select the save render. I am in render view and press Z, and it led me to save the actual render. And I think so. It's a very simple way to work. And use this. And alright, I want to save this one. From here you can open the marquee menu. From here you can create a new marquee menu. Remember, when you create a new MM, this is not already update here. You need to use the update button for read new marquee menu I have created now. So remember, before you can use a marquee menu create, you need to have update the window of MMT. Remember to save the hotkey, and remember to save the configuration to connections between the elements. Alright, if you come back to the MMT folder, I have a new user data. As you can see, it is a lot more small about my one, and edit with this one is more simple to I can show you how it works. Alright, before of that, the first line is the line when you can read and see the relationship between elements. First of all, we have the combination. Joint and polygons run up. The joint poly do not have a contextual hotkey. 0 divided to the two commands. Polygon. The combination selection of two poly run up. The poly marquee menu do not have the hotkey, and so on. Polygon run up poly and marquee menu, but have these scripts, this select toggle mode. Graph editor, this area is for the panels, and as you can see, it creates all the possible connection, but not all are already done. For example, outliner panel is related to the new marquee menu I have created before, and do not have a hotkey contextually at the moment, and so on and so forth. And this is, I don't know what is this. Probably close the area of the configurations. The last thing is about this tool and of this video is related to the ability to use Mel or Python command here. I don't show you before. With the button you can select how code you want to use. By using break you can break up the connection, and that's it. Very well, I hope you can enjoy inside of this journey inside of the customization of Maya. Of course, my configuration is a startup. It's a way you can start, but I hope you can start from here, or for start Maya configuration and set up your own configuration. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you find it useful. And bye.